Okay, let's dive in.
Yeah.
Today, we're tackling something huge, something really central to, well, being human.
Love.
Exactly, love. But maybe not in the way we usually talk about it. We're looking specifically at the common narrative around getting love.
Right. We've been digging into this really insightful essay by Brianna Wiest, and it seriously challenges how we tend to think about finding love, experiencing love.
Offers a pretty powerful shift in perspective, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We want to unpack the core idea
Mm-hmm.
from the essay, this suggestion that maybe, just maybe, our intense focus on receiving love,
On getting it.
yeah, getting it, might actually be the very thing that stops us from, truly experiencing it.
And exploring the alternative she proposes.
So what jumps out immediately from the essay is just how much we talk about, well, how to get love.
Oh, constantly. It's everywhere, isn't it? All the advice columns, the self-help books.
Totally. Landing dates, how to turn someone on, finding the one, getting that commitment.
It's all framed as acquisition, like you're trying to win something.
Right. And the essay puts it really bluntly. It often feels like we're trying to manipulate the love that people give us.
Like it's this external prize you have to scheme for or extract somehow.
Exactly. And then there's this stark contrast the essay highlights.
Which is,
While we are absolutely obsessed with how to get love, we spend surprisingly little time talking about how to give it.
it's almost an afterthought, isn't it? If it's thought of at all.
Which leads straight into this really common misconception the essay tackles head on.
Which one is that?
This idea that giving love is somehow conditional. Like you can only really give it properly if you're receiving it back first.
Oh, definitely. Or worse, there's this sort of subtle feeling, in the culture that if you give love freely, especially if it's not returned in the way you expect,
Yeah.
that it makes you look weak.
Yeah,
Or maybe
right.
naive, undignified somehow.
Mm-hmm. Like you're being a doormat or something if you keep being kind or open towards someone who isn't quite matching that.
Right, setting yourself up to be hurt or taken advantage of, it feels risky.
It does feel risky. But the essay just cuts through all that noise with this fundamental rule.
And it's pretty direct, maybe a little uncomfortable for some people to hear.
What is it?
You cannot convince someone to love you if they don't, period.
Wow. Okay.
And it's not just romantic love. The essay stresses that. It applies to all kinds of connection. Love isn't something you earn from someone else. It doesn't exist outside of you waiting to be grabbed.
Okay, so if you can't convince them and the affection you want isn't there, what then?
Yeah.
The essay talks about facing two choices, basically.
Yeah, two paths.
Yeah.
Path one, you try to force it.
How?
Well, you try to change the other person, maybe manipulate the situation, try harder to earn their love, prove your worth. You know the drill.
Mm-hmm.
And the essay argues that path just keeps you stuck. Stuck in frustration, disappointment,
Right.
just stuck.
Okay, so what's path two?
Path two. And this is really the core of the shift. You choose to keep giving love anyway.
Even if it's not coming back the way you want.
Yes. And the essay suggests that this choice, kind of paradoxically, is what actually lets you move forward. It frees you.
That's interesting. Let's talk about the pain, though. Because when we don't get the love we want or a relationship ends, it hurts a lot.
Oh, absolutely. It's a profound sense of loss, right? Like something vital has been ripped away from you.
Yeah, a real void. You feel the absence of their love.
But here's where the essay really challenges our thinking. It argues that pain, it isn't actually the loss of love itself.
It's not. Then what is it?
The essay says the pain we feel is the pain of a closed heart, our own heart shutting down because of the situation.
Sure.
It's the pain of trying that manipulation that doesn't work. It's the pain of denial, of refusing to see the reality of the connection. And crucially, it's the pain of believing that you aren't lovable just as you are.
So the suffering isn't about them withholding something. It's about our internal state, our reaction.
Precisely. The essay is really clear on this. Love cannot actually be taken away from you. Because fundamentally, it's not something someone else gives to you, like handing over an object you then possess.
And following that logic, it's not something anyone else can truly give you either in that sense, like they owe it to you.
Exactly that. The essay describes love as something you experience. And for that experience to happen, especially between people, it needs an equal and honest and willing contribution on each side.
So it's a co-creation almost.
Yes, not a transaction. Nobody owes you love. Nobody is responsible for doing the loving for you.
Okay, now this is where it gets. Well, the essay draws a pretty stark consequence depending on how you approach this.
It does. If you live your life operating as if other people are somehow required to give you love.
Like you're entitled to it.
Yeah, like it's their job. Or you deserve it just by existing. If you live like that, the essay says you will actually never fully experience love.
Whoa, wait. So living with the expectation that others should love you actually prevents you from experiencing love.
That's the argument. Because that expectation keeps you focused outward, keeps you potentially trying to manipulate or control, keeps you judging.
And keeps your heart closed, maybe.
Yeah.
Which we essay links to that pain cycle.
Exactly. It keeps you stuck in that loop.
Okay, so if that's the trap, what's the alternative? How does the essay suggest we live instead?
The alternative is a complete flip. It's about living as though love is something that is always required of you.
Required of me, not for me.
Yes. Your primary focus shifts entirely away from receiving towards giving.
And what happens then? If you actually manage to make that shift, what does the essay say you'll find?
You start finding love everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Not just in the big capital R romance.
No, that's the point. You find it in brief encounters, maybe with a stranger. You find it in friendships, short-term connections, long-term ones. It infuses everything.
So focusing on your own output, on giving, actually opens your eyes to all the love that's already around in all these different forms. Forms we might usually dismiss.
Yes. And crucially, the essay points out, when your focus is on giving, all these different experiences of love become equally important.
Equally important. How so?
The brief connection teaches you something valuable. The friendship offers a certain kind of love. The intense but short romance has its lessons. They aren't ranked less important just because they don't fit the forever narrative.
That completely changes how you'd view loss or endings then.
Totally. A relationship ending isn't a failure to get love anymore.
It's just
Yeah.
another one of those experiences, another little love story, as the essay puts it.
Precisely. And the pain associated with that ending, when you see it this way,
Yeah.
it transmutes, the essay says. It changes into something else.
Into what?
Into the beauty of having discovered something more important than someone who can promise you forever.
And that's something more important.
Right.
Is that the actual experience of love itself, the capacity to give it, cultivated within you.
That's it, your own internal experience, your own capacity. And your life then becomes, as the essay describes it, a series of little love stories, each one teaching you something.
Not teaching you how to trap someone, but
No. Teaching you things like how to love better, how to give more freely, more authentically, how to be more fully yourself in connection.
learning what you actually like, what you don't like.
Yeah, learning how to walk away when something isn't right, but with grace, with self-respect, learning to really listen to your gut, your intuition.
Those are the real fruits of a life focused on giving love, according to this perspective.
That's the idea.
And this all leads after that one big central question the essay poses, the one that kind of stops you in your tracks.
It's the core takeaway, really. The ultimate prompt for looking inward.
Which is?
If you ever find yourself feeling sorry for yourself, feeling resentment, feeling that lack, focusing on how little love you think you're getting,
Yeah.
the essay asks you to stop and ask yourself, how much are you giving?
Oof. Yeah. That question,
Yeah,
it lands differently, doesn't it?
it really does.
It just completely shifts the blame or the focus away from other people or bad luck or whatever and puts it right back on your own actions in your own heart.
It puts the power back in your hands. The potential to experience love in any moment comes back to your capacity to contribute, to give.
So if we're wrapping up this deep dive, the huge shift this essay is pushing us towards is, well, it's moving away from that constant chase, that expectation of receiving love.
And moving towards recognizing the kind of abundant experience of love that you can find and cultivate and even amplify just by focusing on the act of giving it.
Yeah, and keeping that key question handy, how much am I giving, feels like a really powerful tool.
A constant redirect pulls you back from looking at what others aren't doing and towards what you can do, what you can offer.
It makes you think, doesn't it? If love isn't a destination you finally get to, but more like a muscle you exercise through giving, how does that change things? Not just romance, but friendships, family, how you interact with colleagues or strangers even.
And maybe the biggest question it leaves you with, if giving is the key to experiencing love, what does that shift do for the relationship you have with yourself?
Definitely something to sit with.